You help addicts. Did I read that right? People that are in recovery or want to get into recovery.
Yeah, yeah. I run a
Talk about
sobriety
that.
community. Yeah. Yeah, I don't talk about it as openly. But yeah, I've been sober for 17 years. And when I met my fiance, he has also been sober about the same, but he did the traditional detox rehab AA. I don't know if you know that
I'm
lineage.
familiar. I have two friends I had to support them through, so I know everything about rehab and yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So, yeah. So when I met him, I went to my very first AA meeting. And if you know anything about AA, especially as a coach, getting into coaching yourself, the way that they teach things in AA and the way that they teach things in coaching is not the same. It's
No,
very different. And so I didn't necessarily appreciate the way AA was run. And I voiced that very early on. And so I'm just a natural entrepreneur, business minded person. So about the 12th time of going, just randomly over the course of a few months, I was like, I want to start a business. So literally started a business called Sober Society. We help on the relapse, prevent the relapse. So they do the whole thing, however they want to get sober. And then we come in as creating the new identity, shifting the limiting beliefs, and moving them into the world without the high percentage of relapse that happens, after getting sober.
that's the main thing.
Relapse prevention is what we call it.
South Florida is it's a big hub for rehabs right now.
It's a mecca. We didn't know, like I didn't. It just
Yeah,
so happened.
yeah, yeah. I went with my friend to this old men's group down in Plantation. It was a decent group. I see what you mean. They could be a little aggressive sometimes in some ways, and it's a very male dominating culture. The 12 step.
It is very male dominated, 100%. One of the biggest issues that I had, just so the audience knows, is just the I am statements. I think that if you're trying to not drink alcohol, telling yourself I am an alcoholic is like the worst thing you could possibly do. If you were my coach for losing weight, and every time I came to see
I'm
you,
a fatso.
I would, yeah,
I'm a
you made
fatso.
me say that.
I'm a
Like, I'm
fatso.
a fatty.
I agree
Like,
with you.
how degrading and unhelpful and unempowering is that?
I agree.
Worst.
I thought about the same thing. For what I based on my what I learned in my journey of self development, I am are the most powerful words. So every morning I drive my girls to school. They're 6 and 5. We do a prayer, and then we do the gratitude, thank you God, and then we end it with the I am statement. And it's so funny you brought that up. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am gorgeous. I'm smart. I am, a money magnet. I'm intelligent and all that good stuff. But anyways, and I was thinking the same thing. So funny you brought this up. Like you keep reminding yourself all the time. By the way, I'm sure they have their logic. I'm sure they have their reasoning behind it. They don't want you. I think they don't want you ever to forget, maybe. And but you're right. I mean, um, to keep you keep if you want to reprogram the subconscious, how are you gonna do that if you keep saying I'm an addict? I'm an addict. Hi, I'm John. I'm an addict, by the way, and this is my story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And then all they do is talk about alcohol the whole time. Their story, the things, a lot of them glorify it. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking having cravings going to these meetings. I've never had a craving since I stopped. Like, for real.
Did you did you find other people felt the same way like you? Or they don't really open up, do they? Like it's
Yeah. Yeah, I never had conversations like that in the rooms because
you
that's
can.
disrespectful.
Yeah,
But yeah, outside the rooms, just in normal talk, when I bring it up, 100%, a
yeah,
100% of the people are like, agree.
yeah. Do you mind sharing what was your DOC, drug was choice, or you want to keep
Oh,
it?
alcohol, but it wasn't like that. I um I was just being a shitty mom. My ex was using alcohol to low key rape, sexual coerce me. So he would get me plastered on rum and coke and then take advantage of me sexually. And then I'd wake up bloody and bruised. And then he'd be like, you asked for it. You wanted it. Why are you pretending that you didn't? Whatever. So between that and then just waking up with hangovers with my son, I had to like make a choice. Like, what am I doing with my life? So it was literally, I don't even know what the day was. It wasn't a whole thing. I didn't know about AA. I didn't know about sobriety. I didn't know this was even an issue. I was just totally naive to it. And literally just one day he offered me, when I came over, he offered me my normal rum and Coke in like a big gulp glass. And it was a Saturday. That's all I know. And he offered, and I said, I don't really want to drink tonight. And he didn't say anything. He's like, oh, well, he just drank it. We went out partying that night, and I woke up the next day on a Sunday and I felt great. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no hangover. This is phenomenal. And so that was like the last drink I ever had. I didn't know it was going to be the last drink I ever had. But it was.
How many years
Well,
sober?
that was not. That was the last drink that turned that I saw, I guess, or that was like offered to me. I did not have a drink that night.
So you said 10 years sobriety?
17.
17. Wow, look at
Maybe
you.
even 18, because I quit when my son was like barely walking.
Look at you.
Yeah, it was like this epiphany that I had. I had come home. It was just like a few things, but like I had come home and I was like, let's play Legos. And we were on the floor playing Legos. And I was like laying down playing with him and I passed out. And I might have been sleeping for 2 seconds. I might have been sleeping for 2 hours. I don't even
You're
know.
no.
Woke up and my poor son is like not sitting anymore. He's like laying down. And I literally just had this whole thing of like, what am I doing? Like, I'm a good mom, and this is making me a shitty mom. So you know, that was one of the epiphanies.
What a story, man, Sabrina. What a story you have. Wow.